Daytona DMAX Championship finale here at Sandown Park. It's time for action as we've got the Light Enduro Showdown. Max O'Shaughnessy versus Jack O'Neill. Let's bring in our title protagonists. First of all, Jack O'Neill. Interesting qualifying, Jack. Not quite as high as you needed to be.
No, but at the end of the day, it's an hour race, isn't it? So we've seen all through this year, everything can happen throughout the race. I'm in the mix at the end of the day, which is what it needs to be. Okay, Max is on pole. That's a little bit of a, from a championship point of view, it's good for him. But it is a long race, so it's all to play for still.
Quite a cold and slippery start to the day as well, so I guess the racetrack is going to get faster as the hour goes. You ready for that?
Absolutely, yeah. And also the karts will develop as well. It's always interesting doing the first race of the day because the karts haven't been out in other races. They've just been qualifying is the first time they've actually been out on today's track, so the karts will evolve as well, so you're going to see probably a lot of people change throughout the order, which makes it exciting for you guys as well to commentate on. So no, should be a good race.
It certainly will be with Jack. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Have a good race. James, I think you've got the pole sitter.
I do. Now, Max, the one thing that you needed to do was qualify ahead of him to give yourself a good start. You've got yourself in pole position, but we reckon Cameron might have something to say into turn one. So are you thinking more conservatively, or are we thinking you've got to win this race?
Well, the main goal here, if I finish in front of Jack, then that will seal it, or one place behind. So, if I come out on the first lap in second place, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, I'd much rather like to win, but so conservative is probably the start that I'm going to have to go for.
And how have we found the conditions out here? Because it's kind of difficult. It's cold. Obviously, there's a dry line, but there's clearly some elements of the track where the rain's clearly not dried up overnight. So does that play more into the decision to go maybe a little bit conservative, or do you think that you can push in the early laps?
I'm quite liking it actually, because the track's getting quicker every single lap in qualifying, so the fast laps are coming towards the end, so you couldn't really get too complacent. But because there's water off the line, going for moves or overtakes, you're going to have to go onto the wet part of the track, so to make one stick is going to be quite difficult, so it puts me in a good position.
Well, best of luck. And speaking of overtakes, I think Jake's got the man who's going to be looking for the overtake into turn one.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to wait around for this, are you, Cameron? The opportunity there into turn one, be honest with me, you're not going to hang around.
I don't know. I think I might, and then just see how it goes after 20-30 minutes in, after we've got a gap, bit of a distance, but I'm happy with the car, and hopefully it's a good race.
The thing is though, mate, this is an hour-long race, and everybody says, because it's an hour, you've got time to play with, but the way you drive, it's a sprint, so clearly you want to get stuck in quite early.
Yeah, sometimes, but I think today I'm going to try to go for the long one and try to sneak it in at some other point later on.
Interesting. Going to be very excited to see what you do, Cameron. Thanks, mate. Yeah. So, James, coming into this one, we've obviously got that showdown, Max versus Jack, but there's so many other factors, so many other drivers who want a piece of this in the season finale.
Oh, for sure, and I think, the people have been saying, Cameron's not too worried about the championship. He is, of course, still battling for third in said championship. But the race win, it's something that every single driver, no matter who you are, wants to achieve. And what better place to do it at the final round, especially since DMAX is taking a sabbatical next year. You got your chance to say, hey, I was the last Lights winner.
Absolutely, and there's a few drivers out of position. Dante Dillon, Harrison Pugh, Archie Elliott, they all want to come through the field. Fraser Brunton's in the mix in the top 5 as well. It's go hard or go home. Race action in the season finale. It's time to get the Daytona DMAX Light Enduro Championship finale underway, and it's going to be an absolute title thrash right from the start. O'Shaughnessy and Khan on the front row from Fraser Brunton and Jack O'Neill. Ben Ireland and Nikolai Angelov from Boyd Wayne Jr. and Sam Hampshire. Russell Horton and Ben Leslie round up the top 10. From Dante Dillon and Will Thomas, the newbie, along with the fellow rookies Alex Lucas and Will Vincent. Harvey McBrien and Ethan Livingston. Ollie Manton is there with Peter Knight from Dane Christensen and Kieran Ives. Then outside the top 20, we've got Jordan Bowley, Archie Elliott and Harrison Pugh. Those two a long way back where they should be. Cameron Musazadeh, George Warledge, Toby Shimodi and Paul Tate. 27 on the grid, and this is a title showdown like no other. Max O'Shaughnessy has to win to really get this one sewn up. Jack O'Neill in 4th position. The work is on him to get this lead sorted out, and it's going to be very tight from the off, James.
It really will be, and we've of course got that wild card of Cameron Khan. He wants to secure third in the championship for himself. More importantly, he wants to take a race win. in the interview that we had with him just a few minutes ago, he was talking about once we've got a gap. Well, once we've got a gap, to who is he expecting to be in the lead? I think he fancies his chances.
Well, he's on the wrong side of the grid to make the banzai to turn one, so he may decide to go for the switch. Let's have a look at it as they come out of the final turn. We're racing at Sandown Park for the last time in 2018. Light Enduro's underway, trying to come around the outside of Max O'Shaughnessy. Cameron Kahn coming through. Fraser Brunton's going to make the move to second, but he's not going to get there because Kahn fends him off. Jack O'Neill makes the switch to come into third position. He's still side by side with Brunton as they go up and over the crest. Is O'Neill going to finish the job? Yes, he does. So O'Neill is through into third position. So it's O'Shaughnessy from the lead, Kahn in second, O'Neill third from Brunton.
And that could not have been a better start for O'Neill. He was saying he has to make the moves stick in these early stages. He needs to get as close to O'Shaughnessy as possible. But O'Shaughnessy, he was challenged by Kahn, but you were absolutely right. Kahn on the outside couldn't really do much into turn one. And so O'Shaughnessy...
Oh, bit of a shove, sorry, into turn 9 as a big move there from Boyd Wayne Jr. on the inside of Nikolai Angelov. They come together and just about getting away with that one. The only major problem in the first lap. It's an opportunity now as Kahn has been passed by Jack O'Neill and nearly Fraser Brunton as well. So they're going to come through. Fraser Brunton all over the back of Cameron Kahn. This is not going the way Cameron thought it would. He hoped there might have been a chance to get into the lead at turn 1 or turn 2. It hasn't happened, and now he's got Jack O'Neill in second. This is good news still for Max O'Shaughnessy. Championship looks like it could be won from here.
Oh, goodness me, that was a beautiful move from O'Neill. He needed to get it done. It was clinical, it was smart. But now he's got to try and make up 2 seconds of a gap on O'Shaughnessy. Cameron Kahn, he can't dismiss him so early though. He's remaining on the back and okay, he's still got Brunton to defend. But at least he's got a target ahead of him as well.
Max is gone.
On the limit, on the absolute limit. He is in the groove already. Off he goes, oh, almost contact there through the penultimate corner as well.
That's Hampshire on Ben Island. Yep. Hampshire on Island, and they're having a nice little squabble.
Ooh,
Island's going to try
contact.
and get back on the switchback. Is that Island going to get back through? Ooh. Nothing between them, and they're going to be swamped by Boyd Wayne Jr. Boyd Wayne Jr. gets past them both into 5th position, and now they've got a challenge from Nikolai Angelov, who's trying to come through into 7th position as well. Right behind them is Ben Leslie. Then we've got Will Thomas and Dante Dillon, who is still ridiculously frustrated being down there in 11th place. Can't get second on O'Neill. They are still battling away side by side. Kahn gets O'Neill back. Brunton's now going to the left side of O'Neill. He's going to try and get a switchback out of a hairpin. Brunton's going to get into third here. He commits to the inside line. O'Neill keeps it round the outside and hangs on to third position. Good driving from O'Neill, but this is looking the title out of reach.
Yeah, that's how he got Kahn in the first place, with going from offense to defense in that case, but that is worst case scenario. We were saying just literally a couple of laps ago, Kahn, he's still close, he still sees him. He saw an opportunity, he took it back, and now he's into second, whilst O'Shaughnessy continues to extend that lead up to 4 seconds.
Boyd Wayne Jr., and he's going to be stopped in the pits, and he is absolutely livid. What did I do wrong? Are you joking? I didn't get a black flag there. You've given it to me incorrectly. But these guys know exactly what they're doing. He's gesticulating. He's his own judge, jury and solicitor. But unfortunately, he's received the black flag for that incident. Leslie's having a cracking challenge now from Archie Elliott, who's realised, I've got a car I like, I'm in a good position, I'm going to go for it. And he's sizing up a move on Leslie up towards turn 1. Can Elliott make the move? Oh, Dylan has got the move on Hampshire.
Yeah. He's got him into turn
Hampshire's
turn 2.
trying to resist into the braking zone. He's going to try and take it right round the outside, but Dylan has him absolutely spent there. So Dylan is through into 5th position. Into 6th place. Now it's Ben Island's turn.
Race under pressure, and he's still kept the position. Although here up the inside. Who's this?
That's going to be Horton. Horton's managed to slip through on Elliott, and now he's going to try and make a lunge. Elliott's going to try and retaliate. Leslie's going to come back to the outside and get vengeance on Elliott for his move earlier on. Harvey McBrien has got the back of them in there as well, so this is going to get pretty spicy between these 5. A brilliant midfield battle.
5? I count 6 in there now.
You're right, it is 6.
Battle.
Absolutely terrific. They're going to come back onto the back straight. In the lead of the chase, somehow, is now... Well, is that Lucas still? No, it's not. It's the 57 now.
Horton.
That's Russell Horton. He's mugged them all. Leslie very nearly went in the pit lane, and now he's got Will Vincent on his tail.
It's a massive change around. So they're just going to cross the timing beam now. So it's now Horton, Lucas, McBrien, Manton. So Elliot's the big loser there. He's down to 13th.
Yeah, he's battling away with Ollie Manton and just about held him off. Now he's going to try and get himself back into the mix with Harvey McBrien and Alex Lucas. It's just one of those moments, unfortunately. He just got caught out in the timing of his battle, and there's not really a lot he can do about it. That is Archie Elliott! Archie Elliott's gone into the barriers! That is such a disaster for Archie. He was battling away in the mix there with the likes of Lucas and McBrien, and Archie Elliott is in the barriers. That is an absolute disaster. Having a big battle. That's Russell Horton and Nikolai Angelov absolutely at each other's throats, or is that one of the back markers actually?
No, that is...
no, it is Angelov.
It is Angelov. I think there was a gesticulation there because he wasn't sure whether it was a blue flag situation or not. It wasn't. So he's effectively gifted in the position.
So he had to fight his way back in, and full credit to Russell Horton for continuing that intensity. He's got himself back into position. Meanwhile, Dante Dillon has found the back of Ben Ireland. This is going to get interesting now as they come into the final turn. Ireland is just in front of the red and white suit of Dante Dillon, and we're going to get ourselves a bit of a challenge here for 5th place, sooner rather than later.
What a race Dante's having. 3rd place in the championship might be a little bit too far away, but you know what, he's going to give it a jolly good go anyway.
Here we go again. This is Russell Horton and Harvey McBrien, actually, not Angelov. And Dillon's through on Hampshire. On Ireland. Dillon has made the move. So he's made a deficit back of about 3 seconds to get into 5th position. Brilliant work from Dillon. He's now P5.
8 seconds to the battle for P3, Jake.
Some great midfield battles. We've got Horton shaking off McBrien, and now Will Vincent's going for Lucas into the final turn. He's going to try and get the switch back. That's not going to work because Leslie's to his inside, and Ollie Manton's in the mix there as well. Manton goes for the inside of Leslie. Leslie's going to hold it to turn 3. Manton's going to try and get the switchback move. Go on, Ollie, get stuck in. Side by side with Ben Leslie. And is he going to make the move into the braking zone for 4? Yes! Nice move from Ollie Manton. That's ended up causing a little bit of an issue as he tries to make his way through. Meanwhile, McBrien now going the long way round, and still no response for Horton, and a big mistake from Alex Lucas as he drops back in behind Will Vincent and just about hangs on ahead of Ollie Manton. That gives Leslie a chance to get up the inside, which he takes, but runs wide on the exit. Manton's going to get him back into turn 1. Can Leslie stretch it round the outside? Yes, he can. He gets back to the inside. Manton's going to get him on the switchback. Vincent's trying to go for Horton because McBrien's gone through, and Horton's got his hand in the air as if to say, did you see that? Leslie has another crack at Lucas. He's now going to try and get the switch back on the inside of the final bend. Lovely. And Lucas gets him straight back. Ollie Manton's now going to get the move again. Yellow flags. There's something has come off one of the cars. That's a chain guard that's come off. Now that is going to be a mechanical flag for somebody, I think. So now hang on a second. Whose chain guard is that? I think it's Max O'Shaughnessy's.
We're hearing murmurs.
I think it might be Max O'Shaughnessy's chain guard. Now, I'm hoping that is not going to cause too much of an issue. In the National Championships, as MSA category, that would be a mechanical flag. It's not the same rule in non-MSA. Let's have a look. And yes, it is his chain guard, but it's going to be fine. I think we're all right. Because, of course, in the MSA categories, that would be a mechanical flag. It's not in non-MSA. We write our own rule books, and if you lose the chain guard, it's fine. So O'Shaughnessy carries on. Interestingly, Brunton has caught back to the tail of O'Neill, and they've both made big gains on Khan through the traffic. And Harrison Pugh is having to get out of the way and let O'Neill and Brunton go through. That is a very rare sight indeed. A black flag. And I can't quite tell who that is. It's Boyd Wayne Jr. again. A second black flag incident for Boyd Wayne Jr. He can't believe his luck here. And yet again, Boyd Wayne Jr. is insisting, I didn't do anything wrong. And he's getting out of the car. He's had enough. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're called for an incident, then you have to serve it. But Boyd Wayne Jr. is a very unhappy chappie. Leslie is still absolutely romping it with Horton. Horton gives Leslie a friendly nudge to get through the back marker. And that's compromised Horton big style. Vincent's now going to get him on the inside line. Vincent goes through. Well, I tell you what, Horton was a little bit too eager there to help out Ben Leslie. Leslie go through. Every time I see the surname Leslie, I just think David Leslie. It's my fault. Because again, he's lapped everybody now again up to Ben Leslie. That's the second time of asking that he's lapped these guys. It's just astonishing. And he's lapped Dante Dillon as well. Did I mention that? No, I hadn't even spotted he'd done it. But he's lapped Dante Dillon. You don't do that every day. Shaughnessy just picking them off like they're raisins at the moment.
Oh, Hampshire and Ireland still going close. And has Ireland got him? I think he has.
Yes, you're right. Ireland has got 6th place now on Hampshire. These two have left their best to last. And there's a good battle for 8th going on as well as Nikolai Angelov is trying to cut through the traffic to get away from Harvey McBrien. Ollie Manton has well and truly dealt with the pressure from Ben Leslie and Russell Horton for the moment. They're a long way back. But yes, the closest battle on track at the moment is that 6th place battle between Ireland and Hampshire. And they're still at it. They're not giving up yet. They come around the far side of the circuit. And Ireland is trying to disappear away from Hampshire. He's already starting to drop the hammer now. And the 19 is clearing off.
Absolutely incredible performance. Still his fastest lap, Jake. 5/10 clear of the rest of the field. If that is not a damning indicator as to how fast he's been today, then I don't know what is. What a performance. What a champion.
Down the back straight for the last time. Max O'Shaughnessy has had it all his own way today, but he's had to dig deep and find something special to ward off the charge of Jack O'Neill. He's done that in spades. Out of the final turn, Max O'Shaughnessy wins the race and the championship. Max O'Shaughnessy is Daytona DMAX Light Enduro Champion for the 2nd consecutive year. Back-to-back titles for Max O'Shaughnessy, and rightly so.
And what a performance here from Cameron Khan then. Comes home, albeit quite a way back, but he does come home in P2 ahead of Jack O'Neill in P3. I don't know how to feel if you're Jack O'Neill. He did well, he did make up a position, he did finish on the podium, but ultimately not enough to even lay a finger on Max O'Shaughnessy in this final race. But Cameron Khan, one of the most composed performances he's shown all year. And, well, we were saying maybe there's a good chance that Dante Dillon can take P3 in the championship, but you know what? Cameron Khan said no. P3 is mine.
Jim Graham applauds Max O'Shaughnessy as he comes into the pits. A worthy champion in Daytona DMAX Light Enduro. That means we have 2 different champions in the light classes for 2018. And what a fantastic end to the year. Max O'Shaughnessy wins in flamboyant style from Cameron Khan and Jack O'Neill, who finishes the year as vice-champion. Fraser Brunton in 4th position from Dante Dillon. Ben Ireland in the top 6. A really feisty, patient drive from him ahead of Hampshire. Nikolai Angelov in a solid 8th place in front of the fighting Harvey McBrien. And a very solid effort in the last top 10 of the season for Ollie Manton. That kid has got a massive future.
Absolutely, and shout-outs as well to Will Vincent, finishing 13th in his debut. To Archie Elliott, managed to pip Dane Christensen there at the very end to recover to 17th after being in the tyre barriers at one point. Brilliant recovery drive. Your 3 retirements from the race: Paul Tate, Harrison Pugh, and of course Boyd Wayne Jr., who was brought into the pits unfortunately after 2 black flag incidents.
It's a fantastic end to the season in Light Enduro. Max O'Shaughnessy, top dog for the 2nd year running. Give it up again, gents and ladies. Jack O'Neill, Cameron Khan, and your champion, Max O'Shaughnessy! Jack O'Neill. It was always going to be a difficult race. 3rd position, a very tough fight with Fraser Brunton throughout. Are you happy?
Well, no, not really. 2nd place is 2nd in championships. But at the end of the day, firstly, congratulations to Max. You know, it's 10-round championship, and it's a pressure environment every race. You know, you've got a lot of great racing drivers in the field, and it's not really about the person sometimes who's always ultimately the fastest person on the track. It's if you can keep your head throughout those 10 races. And throughout the championship, Max was, came out on top as a better person. But today, yeah, Fraser was very good. You know, me and him were working, and to be fair, sort of 3/4 of the race, my kart then seemed to come quite good, and all of a sudden I was then catching up with Cameron, but it was too little too late really, but hey ho.
But at least you can count yourself as the champion in the Daytona Light Heats Championship. It's been a great year.
Oh, that's been a good year, yeah, to be fair. And it was nice to take it to the final round, this one, just to make Max sort of sweat out a little bit more and sort of make him earn it. But he did a great job again this year. Obviously back-to-back as well, so no, congratulations to him.
Fantastic. It's been a great pleasure to commentate on you all season, Jack. Well done, buddy.
Cheers, Jack.
So that's third position. Second place in a very disciplined drive, a very patient drive, actually. Cameron Khan, second position. That looked to me like the best you could have got today because Max was just disappearing away with the fairies, but you really delivered today.
Yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it from the start, but I dropped to third at one point, and then I quickly got back on the top straight after a lunge, and then just kept behind Max, and then he slowly drifted up, and then he was quite peaceful, but yeah, nice race. Hopefully better for the heats.
And that finishes off your campaign as third in the championship in the Enduros, your best ever result in a season campaign. I mean, that's got to be a really nice way to end the year.
Yeah, it's good, but just a shame that I missed the last round, because then obviously it might have been a bit better. But other than that, yeah, great race.
There's always 2020 when we come back. Have a good one, mate.
Cheers.
But now to our race winner and our champion again. Last year, it was pretty sensational winning your first title. This year, double champion. How does that one feel?
To be honest, it feels no different because it's the same situation. Obviously, last year in the last round, I was racing Tom Kemping, and we went into the last round with an 8-point championship gap. This time it was 9, and having absolutely bulletproof drivers behind you is such a hard task to keep it in front.
And the difficulty here today was that you knew that right from the start, you had to dig deep and find something just to get the job done, but you found half a second a lap pretty much every lap.
Yeah, definitely. I know that Jack is always on top of his game, and the first half of my championship was definitely good. I built out a good margin, and then it started eroding through the last half. So I knew I had to do it all today, and it feels good to win on home turf. I've been racing at Sandown for 8 years now, so track knowledge.
Absolutely amazing. Max O'Shaughnessy, double Daytona DMAX Light Enduro champion. Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Well, what a way to crown what has been a fantastic season, James. It's had trials and tribulations all the way through, but a cracking final race.
Oh, wasn't it just? I mean, we had literally battles throughout the entire hour. In particular, I mean, Ireland versus Hampshire was amazing. I think that Brunton could have taken a podium himself, maybe. So many amazing battles. But at the end of the day, it was the man who wasn't involved in any battles at all that was the one that came out on top. And Max O'Shaughnessy, what a deserving double champion now. He's got a very good career, I think, to look forward ahead of him.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great moment when we crown the champion in 3 weeks' time at our DMAX Awards. There's going to be plenty of other great events, so like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay with us on Daytona.